Okay, so my video just cut out from storage again. I'm gonna have to either stitch it together or clear them up. But I just want to show you guys how I kind of think about what should I be doing in my life right now. And this year has really been very self-sacrificing for me, very geared towards serving others. And I believe that, the more you're kind to people, the more you're valuable, and the more you take care of the people who you love, that comes back to you 100-fold, if not 1,000-fold. I feel like anyone, even a sociopath, can learn that if they are good to people, their life will be better. If you do the majority of your life, you do things for other people rather than yourself, you will get a lot back, rather than just sitting on a pile of gold like a dragon. But yeah, so I've been thinking like this probably at a low level for about a year before I met my wife. And then after I got married, I definitely shifted gears towards understanding that sacrifice and service is the better way to live. And so when I'm looking for my purpose and what I should be doing and making a decision for how I'm going to spend my time at any given moment, I have to catch myself and actually consciously focus on this. It's not something that I can just, you try to live it all the time. But yeah, once I got married, I realized most of what I do, I want to do because I want my wife to have a good life. So even if it's not what I want to do, or it wouldn't be my first choice if I was just looking after myself, it is what I want to do, because what I want ultimately long term is for my wife to be comfortable, for her to be able to stay home and raise my children. And now that I have children, that's exponentially increased, where I want the majority of my life to be service, at least to my family. And if I could get to a point where my family was totally taken care of, which obviously, that's a moving target that you'll never quite hit. But once my family is safe and healthy and taken care of, then you can extend your scope outwards. You take care, as a young man, you keep your room clean, and then keep your house clean, your apartment. Then you do well in your job, you get in control of waking up on time and keeping your own hygiene. Then maybe you get a house plant, you take care of that. Then you take care of a cat or a dog, or a gerbil or something that doesn't require a lot of maintenance, a bearded dragon or a lizard. And then once you get that all under control, where you're confident in your routine and your system, then you expand upon that. Then you can get a girlfriend, and then if you can meet her needs and take care of her and all of these other things, then you can start a family. You take care of your family, then you can take care of your community. Then if you can take care of your community, then you can think on a global scale, on a national scale, how do we do what's best for everyone, always, forever. And definitely, since my wife has been pregnant with our first son since September of last year, 2024, he was born June of 2025. So that whole time that my wife is pregnant, I'm caring for her. I'm mostly thinking about what's best for her. I'm trying to get her in good physical shape to have this baby. And then once the baby is born, I'm concerned about how my wife is feeling. Is she stressed out about raising them? Are they safe and comfortable and happy? Does she have everything that she needs to give to them? So I've definitely just been focused on working and, my free time, the things that I want to do. I obviously would love to just sit down and watch movies and play the guitar and, veg out and rest. Obviously you sacrifice sleep having children. So it's a balance. Well, how much sleep do I need? And there are things that I think I could do that would be very valuable, but I really have to question myself all the time. Is my time spent playing the guitar, is that ever going to lead to a song that inspires a bunch of people? And is the time that I spend doing that ever worth turning my child away, or saying hold on, daddy's busy right now, he's playing with a toy that makes funny noises. And obviously I want to teach my kids music and put them in music lessons and do all of that, but how much time is too much time chasing my own dreams when my wife and kids need me? Men have to sacrifice that. Another thing is like I sleep with very little room, and then all day before work I'm holding a baby or carrying my toddler on my shoulders outside around the yard and through the garden and stuff. And then there's time that I need to spend in the garden. Like, that's time sensitive, where if I don't get to something here or there, then something might die, and then I'm missing out on potentially 10 pounds of tomatoes because I didn't get a worm or something like that. And then like the chickens, they have to be put up. It has to get done. It's like a very delicate balance, and I don't think we can really, like, there are very organized people out there. You kind of have to go with the flow. You kind of have to decide at some point, I need to take care of myself so I can take care of anything else. And as a man, you really have to ask God, like, when is it appropriate for you to stop sacrificing and serving others and kind of take that moment to rest so that you can get back in the game to be there for all the people that need you. And yeah, I'm still figuring that out. I think you never really figure it out in life. And this summer of this year, it has definitely felt like I have worked every single day nonstop. If I get like a couple of hours on the weekend to drink a beer and kind of play guitar and look at my garden and it's already watered and everything is like in a good position, that's truly, truly a blessing. And I thank God for those moments. I wish it was more, but what can you really do? At the end, I'm hoping that there's a big payoff, and I don't think that's like sacrilegious to say, like, do you need to sacrifice everything and then like be satisfied with no result? I don't think that's true. At the end of the day, you always have, like, in your bones the evidence of the effort that you put into it. But I think you reap what you sow. Like it says in the Bible, the more you sow, the more you will reap. And it also says you will know them by their fruits. So think about the fruit that you want to cultivate in your life and how you want your time to, how you want it to shake out. And this is kind of a very disorganized, all over the place talk. I kind of went back a bunch. But yeah, like, that's what I want my kids to focus on as early as possible. My generation, we kind of float around until the end of high school before we even think about what we want to do, and we're all forced to learn the same things anyway. We all take, math and reading and writing, and then science and history, and we all learn the same stuff, not depending on who we're going to be as a person, what we're going to do. I think very early to decide if you want to be in a trade, do you want to work in an office, do you want to go to college, do you need higher education, do you want to be an engineer, and how do you want your life to look, and meet some of these people, ask them if they're happy, think about if you already can do some of the things that are similar to the tasks that you're going to be expected to do. What are the expectations of you going to be in your position as, whatever your occupation is, or just as a father, as a husband, as a friend? Before you make a friendship with somebody, think about what are they going to expect from you and what do you expect from them? How is your life going to look when you spend time together with your wife, with your friends, with your boss, with your coworkers? I don't know. These are all just important things to think about, and this is how I kind of narrow down, like, okay, this is how I'm going to make the decision. This is how I'm going to make the decision to move from Louisiana to Ohio. Or, I could really live anywhere. I've been all over this place, and I could probably get a job in like any major city at this point, any larger town that has any kind of manufacturing thing. That's really like a non-issue. What I'm more wondering is, like, what should I put my time into? What should I put my effort into? I have a home, I have a family, I have stability, and God has blessed me. You may think like God hasn't blessed you very much. You want to take more time for yourself and to rest and to recover from trauma and all that. But don't lose yourself in that, because a year of doing that, you're not going to have anything to show for it. You're not going to feel good about it. You may feel good about it 4 or 5 minutes. You may feel good about that soda and that candy and all that junk food and relaxation for 5 minutes. And I'm not saying never to do any of those things, but just let it be a checkpoint. Don't let it define you. All right, that's all for today.